Hello and welcome everybody to my very first YouTube video tutorial. And no, it's not really a tutorial. This channel will be more about really that we try to solve those problems together and not that I show you the perfect solution, because I think there are a way too less channels that really guide along the way how to solve really the problems. They only present you solutions. So this channel is more about really figuring stuff out together. And I think I have an awesome topic for today or for the next couple of videos, and that is to build our own personal home assistant, but a really great one. Yeah, it will be a really great one, because these days we got Siri, Alexa, and OK Google and stuff like that, but they all suck. If you compare it to, for example, ChatGPT, and ChatGPT 3 was already much better. Now we are at ChatGPT 4. And what I try to accomplish is a personal assistant with ChatGPT 4 and my custom voice recognition. So it should be really recognized to my own voice. And obviously the output of the assistant should not be a robotic synthesis, more like voice. It should also be very natural. And of course, it should also, and that's, I think it's achievable right now, that it can really alter its tone based on the setting. So if you make jokes and stuff like that, he's in a much different mood than when we try to query some facts, or I don't know. And because I like the movie Iron Man a lot, and this Jarvis is really my favorite voice AI, you could say, but I don't want to go too much in that direction. So this time around we built Jarkiss. And yeah, I'm really excited. I have no clue how we should do it, but I think we will have the best home assistant or a personal assistant after this video compared to what's on the market. And yeah, let's get started, I would say. First things first, we will be able to also, control our smart home with it. That's because we will build it in such a way that our program will actually listen for key events, such as if I tell them to put on the light. And ChatGPT is also good at analyzing text based on given tasks. So we can definitely train it in a way that it is able to extract these smart home commands. And then we need something like a table or something where we put in keywords for our smart home devices so that our program will be able to match them against the table. And after that, he has the smart home ID and will be able to do the heavy lifting. All right. So far, I have really no clue how to start, and I really have no experience with custom voice recognition stuff. I've never used any Python library or something like that. We will have to do fast research in a bit, but first let's try to maybe put the big picture in how I think this would be a really great thing. So first of all, we're here, somewhere maybe here. Then we have our awesome local server in our home network. So we want to make as much local as possible, so that if we have no internet or stuff like that, that we will still be able to use it. Obviously, using ChatGPT is only possible through web, but yeah, we will see. So what do we have here? We have first this kind of, I have to format. There we go. Okay, let's go. We want to I don't know. My ideal solution would be that we have some kind of Raspberry Pi where the whole shit loads. But for the moment, I would say we go with the Mac and develop it on the Mac. And if it works there, then we'll definitely be able to shift it over to the Raspberry Pi. So yeah, let's move it there. We will start here. So the ChatGPT API stuff, by the way, is I think the easiest part. What we will do right now is to make this voice recognition. So yeah, we'll go for microphone real quick. There we go. Let's put this one in instead of the printer. By the way, I really like design as well, so don't blame me if I take a bit more time to make it look beautiful as well. So yeah, we will have the microphone over here. Maybe we can input text, but I'm more in the voice field right now. Yeah, this is voice. So what happens is that we want to enter some voice commands into our microphone. Microphone is always connected with the computer, and now we need our first program which uses the voice input and puts it into the voice recognition software. And now we have multiple choices. I know a lot of voice recognition stuff that's in the cloud, where you just put in your WAV files and you get back the actual text. Then there's this Python library I was talking about, never used it, never tested something local, but I want to try. We first open, this is the browser by the way, so I can't open it. Yes, so first task is find suitable voice recognition, something like that. Now we have our first npm package. So what we'll do, we have already an empty project, a terminal. So let's first initialize npm. And yes, package name Jarkis, version 0.0.1. Description we don't need. I will delete all the stuff. Okay, I really don't need this, and I really don't need this, and why the heck? Let's add it to the workspace settings. Okay, so he said that he doesn't know the word, now he knows. Author, it's obviously you and me together, and license, we will just got it. And this is all we need here. Then we can install the WASC, whatever we need to do in order to be able. Oh, that's great. Usually I don't like those sites, but in this case it means that there's no paywall, obviously. So installation and usage. Finder, no files, Python, no, WebSocket and server. Oh, Docker image compilation from source. Building the library, model research, Java, C#. We implement node bindings with node preferred library, and that should support more or less recent node versions. For example, API, C, go. And then test microphone. That looks great. Let's just copy this. Test microphone. Let me go here, create an source folder, and then you file test microphone test.js. We will soon change it to TypeScript because JS really hurts if you have large projects. Alright, so we will require WASC. So what is he doing? If file exists, please download model from. We still need to download the AI model, which is capable of understanding our natural language. That was the 50 MB they said. NUS Libre Speech. That looks great. Let's just first download the English other. Then it's English small, English US. Okay, whatever, just download it, stop it. Let's go with the small one so we can test fast, and also download the big one. Yes. Oh, can already prepare, here's stuff like that. So because this is more like an asset or more like some kind of resource, I will create an asset folder inside the root to keep our code separated, and then we will make a folder that's called models. And because we use a lot of models in programming, I call them AI models. Alright. Already downloaded this one. Build code here. Alright. So let's do it this way. Here's our model. And right now we don't know the folder path, so I will make a config folder. This is especially helpful if you have some really not readable. Every time you use strings in coding, you should never ever write such a complicated path inside the code, inside deep nested stuff. So you want to move it to a config file. Why I'm not changing the name of this, you ask? Because this is the original folder that they gave us. So this has some kind of identity. You could argue that it's not really 100% like they want to version something or stuff like that, but at least I know that this is exactly the same model when I download it again. So I leave it definitely as it is, and I will just make some resource, or let's say asset config.js, and inside this one I will just make a const which actually shows me the path. So this is the AI model small ENUS01. And yeah, this will be the path relative. Oh no, let's make it absolute asset models AI. Why the heck is it correct? So I don't know what we now need to include. I will leave it as here. And then we will say something like const AI models config. And then we will go with the current model. So we use this model as our current model. All right, now we obviously need to export it. AI models config. And then we can use it here. Now the model and unpack as model path in the current folder. No. So I think it should be this, like this. All right. Okay, fs redir, and then we go with the model path equals, because now we are inside this microphone test, we can do like going back one step. Then we are on the root level, and then we can just add our config path. So AI model config equals require config AI model config. And because our config now has current model, this should be the model path. So file exists, please download. Now we are done with this one. Actually, I'm saving this link for later and put it inside the config. So we can add C and then this link. Now you can click on it if you do it like this. All right. Where are we now? Now we have the model path. We know that this function will just kill the process if the model isn't there. We say log level to 0, and I have zero clue what 0 means. By the way, the first thing I'm now doing is try to look if Vosk has type definitions. No, they have not. Type definitions mean for TypeScript. And because they don't have it, they didn't build it in the TypeScript way, you can still sometimes have luck, because there's this repo called types, and if you use it and then some package and you install it, sometimes you have luck. We don't have luck. That is really unfortunate. So that means that the Vosk package hasn't been typed by the team that sits behind the types. So we will not be able to use TypeScript unless we do wrap the whole library they made in our own custom software style. We will not do that right now, maybe later. So first of all, some consistency. I like more this kind of string notations. All right. So by now we should be good to go and just try it out. First, let me just real quick see what the code does. So block level, I don't know. So here's creating a model, an object model, and the recognizer will then get this model, simple read, whatever that is. Then we initiate a microphone channel 1 device default. So I think here we can choose the device, make input stream, get audio stream, alright, data, and yeah, let's just try it out and see what it is. So to run it, we can either enter a node, go to the path where the actual files that we want to execute, like this. What we can also do, you can have here this type of scripts inside the package JSON where you can define custom npm scripts. So we could use, for example, start and use the same command we just typed in, microphone-test.js, and we just call it make test. So now we don't have to remember all this stuff, and we can just type in npm run mic test, and it will pretty much do the same. And he cannot find the module config AI. Why? So yeah, obviously, because this is not going one back, it's already in the folder. That's, by the way, the bad thing about not using TypeScript, because the program doesn't tell you anything about issues. And now when we look at microphone config, asset config, oh, I am sorry, we have, sorry, it's a little bit confusing here with the naming. We will fix it. We do it AI model config because it's the AI model config, and we will do a capital letter here, doesn't really matter, and then AI model config. That should be it. If not, then we have to add .js. Oh, it works. Strange thing though is that nothing happened. So debug, we will say root. So maybe the library tells us something, and it doesn't. That's great. That means, because we obviously forgot to, yeah, we get the fs exists, doesn't exist mode, and that's because when we are executing the script, we go from the root folder always, I think. So maybe we should not go back one. No. Okay. Let me do some kind of debugging. Log console, and then we will log the model path, define a path, and we will model path as asset. Oh, it's AI models, not models. So we made a mistake in the config. We didn't say AI modules, and then it's, by the way, Vosk. Why not just copy it? Makes it much less error. Well, yeah, we would have had another one. Typo. Always copy your stuff. Loading asset, still not there. And this was maybe correct. Yeah, it was. No. Wait. We go one back from the source, then we're on root. Then we use another typo. Another typo, guys. Oh yeah, now we're good to go. So what do we have here? Let's get it a little bit more clear. So he loads up the model. Where is it? Loading the model. Read files, blah blah blah. Then what does he do? Throw our unhandled loading info, not events, and then unhandled errors. Okay, maybe this has to do with the two possible, maybe a lot more, but First of all, I'm recording at the moment, so this device thing or maybe makes some problems. And before we will try and error it, I will ask Google. So Bosk audio device settings. There have been this kind of, where was it? Here inside the repo. There they put just the file inside, right? Yeah, that's not what we want. What is FFmpeg? It's also, wait, recognizer? No. We need, it's all with audio files, so this is definitely the one. Alright, okay, let's just use what we have here. Use ChatGPT. Why not? That's what we try anyways, right? I think for new problems, Siri experience in the topic, I think it's really helpful. It's really helpful for this kind of task because I don't even have to explain and he still tries to give me the context. Yeah, I heard this as well in another video a while ago. So we need some kind of audio handling. Let's change it back to default. So does he instruct us to do anything else after installing? Run the code again if I have information. Alright, now it's installed. So let me try it again and see if it works. And it is kind of working. Yeah, awesome. Awesome. Is it good in understanding what I have to say? Oh, it is better than I thought. For 50 MB model size, this is really not that big. We have this complete big. Let us check it out. We already downloaded it, so we can put it inside the project as well. Quickly look for it. Here it is. Copy. 2.8 gigabytes, so yeah, not too small. And let us grab the name, and we have this nice config where we can now just create a new config file, or not a new config file, a new config variable first with the correct path, and we name this ANUS, but not small like they said. It is ANUS version 0.22. And all we have to do is now, inside this config, replace the current model, the new one. That's why you should always use configs files in your code, because this was now super easy. Imagine this kind of text would somewhere appear inside the project. You could still argue that it is possible to find it over the search and find bar and then get to the right direction, but come on, you know better. Yeah, let's try the new model. Let's hit the make test and hit enter. I wonder if he loads the full 2.8 gigabytes into memory. If so, then, well, it really could take some time. And yeah, all right, we have voice recognition inside our project. Obviously, it's just the test, but as you can see, it's printing already the sentences inside our console, so it will be really easy for us to get the data out and put it inside our own application. We are ready to start our application, and that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed the process of getting to the point where we are right now. I know it was a little bit clunky in the middle because of the typos and an audio library that was not installed and not mentioned inside the npm info page. That's really unfortunate. So you need to know what you're doing when you want to use it. Let me real quick show you what we accomplished so far and where we want to go, because the next tutorials, I promise you, will be loaded with much more content and progress, because the following steps are all steps that I'm very familiar with. So stay excited. We will definitely be doing lots of interesting stuff in the coming tutorials. One of which would be that we kind of filter through the inputs and connect it with ChatGPT, so we get the responses and maybe already filtered for certain events, like call a friend and he automatically calls him some application or stuff. Or what would be really interesting as well is to save our own kind of records of conversations, because ChatGPT is only capable of handling like a few words in the conversation process. So all your messages that went up front there are like summarized. What we want to achieve is that our chatbot understands every aspect of our life. So you must be able to really remember a lot of stuff. And because ChatGPT on its own is not capable of doing so, we will kind of build our own database of knowledge that we gave the chatbot during conversations. So we want to that the chatbot tracks all our conversations and saves key points of them in some form, so that we can use this information in combination with everything we put into the Home Assistant, so that the answer to our question is much more precise. What do I mean by that? Well, if you ask ChatGPT, what's my name, he will never ever respond with the correct answer. What we want is that ChatGPT has some context about us, so that when you say, what's my name, he says, hey man, that's a funny question. You're Oliver. If we achieve that goal, then I'm really excited about what we will be developing. And I think we are on the right track to achieve exactly that goal. So stay tuned that we can build the best home assistant that's out there together. If you find this helpful or have any question about what was discussed in the video, or if you want to tell me something I should improve or maybe don't do or do, tell me in the comments, and hit the subscribe button if you would like to have more of that. So see you soon. Bye bye.